Good morning and welcome to the Merry Tuesday mail call, a newly rescheduled version of the show. Normally we host this on a Monday at 7:30 a.m. Australian Eastern. We had to move it yesterday because of a unplanned or planned scheduled outage of our internet. So we're hosting it today. We're going to run through the exact same show. Unfortunately, those of you that were able to make it, thank you so much for joining. We are running it again today. Hopefully, we won't get as big a crowd because it's not a Sunday in the US or the UK. It's a late Monday night. So if you're here, welcome. Thank you very much for joining. We're going to be going through some cartoon comics today, cartoon licensed from Hanna-Barbera, as well as my latest pickups from the LCS that I grabbed last week and wanted to share with you. So welcome to you all. We do have another rescheduled show, which is coming up on Saturday this week. I'm going to be doing the regular monthly members only sketch giveaway. I'll be drawing two sketches, one for Brian LCS. He's asked for Wolverine, and Cliff on Comics, who has requested a Mary Marvel. So if you haven't already, go and click on the notify button for that. That'll be happening Saturday, which will be Friday evening in the US and UK. So yeah, feel free to join us. And while we're talking about memberships, let's quickly go through. So for those of you who don't know, we just launched channel memberships here. So for $2.99 US a month, you can join the price variance, supporting the Hero Initiative, which is a great charity that gives back to creators in need with help with things like medical bills, etc. We do a number of different live streams and videos for members. Those include bullpen interviews. We've had a number of interviews with Al Milgram, with my mind's gone a blank. Marv Wolfman, it'll come to me, but multiple creators. We've got one coming up with Ken Landgraf, Bronze Age artist who's notable for drawing the first solo Wolverine story. We have a new show called the Mega Members Mail Call Show, which is a monthly live stream, which we'll be talking about bigger books. I'll be showcasing some of the big books in the collection and some that I've received. So we're working on that. We had the first one a month ago, so that's due very, very soon. And then, as mentioned, the Back to the Drawing Board, which is our monthly sketch giveaway. So if you're a member, one of these lucky members will win a sketch, and you can see me drawing those sketches that the other winners got the previous months in the show. And we may have a few guests. We've had a couple of guests. I think we had Locke, who joined us most recently, to go through that show, and we show off some original art as well. So if you haven't already, please consider the price variance. And with that, maybe I will switch to our wonderful overhead camera so we can see what we've got this week and talk about these comics that have come in. So let me bring that up onto the screen. This is all going so much more smoothly than yesterday, where if you will join me, we stopped midway. So before we get started in terms of talking through the books, let's see who's here, because it is a Tuesday and not a Monday. And I'm not expecting too many people, but it seems we have. We have our friend Omni Bo. Bo, how are you, sir? It's great to see you. Great entry. Thank you very much. My friend Jim. Always a pleasure to have Jim in the stream. Welcome, mate. It's great to see you. Can't wait for Heroes. Looking forward to that. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to Heroes Con in June with the rest of probably all of the YouTube comic community. So expect a lot of coverage from that, and a lot of hunting and collecting. So looking forward to catching up with Jim there. We've also got Beyond Wednesdays. Brian is here. Oh my God, that is so good. Good to see you, mate. It's a pleasure. I met Brian for the first time in person at WonderCon this year, and it was an absolute joy. And it's just great to, as I say, meet new people in the community that you haven't traditionally met with, or they don't know you, and it was just great, and we got on really well. So welcome, Brian. Thank you. And second best Bob popping in. Just going to bed. I'll catch up tomorrow. I've also booked my ticket for Thunderbolts. Yes, Thunderbolts is coming, folks. I am going to see Thunderbolts here at 6 p.m. Which is Wednesday morning in the US. So I'll try not to spoil it. I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know why everyone's sort of a little negative on this film. I think it'll be one of those sleeper hits that might sort of reinvigorate the Marvel universe, Marvel Cinematic Universe, that is. So let's see. I'm looking forward to it. I like the characters. I think they're going to do a good job. I think you might see some bumps in some of those books, particularly the John Walker ones. I think John Walker's going to come out of this in a good way. I'm not really that keen on Sentry as a character, but I like the idea of him as a villain. So let's see how that goes. And lastly, we've got Vincent. So it's great to see Vincent. Vincent's here pretty much every week. So welcome to the show, Vincent. As I say, in the chat and any comments as we go through the books, please leave any questions, thoughts, comments. Love to hear what you're reading, what you think of the books that I've got here, particularly when we get to the vintage stuff. So let's go. All right. So first up is Absolute Wonder Woman number 6. I actually love this cover, and I'm really enjoying this series. Out of all the Absolute books, this is probably the one that I've enjoyed the most thus far, and I know that from a community standpoint, it's doing pretty well as well. So, yeah, Absolute Wonder Woman number 6. My understanding of Absolute series was that they would have the first arc for 6 issues. And initially that I wasn't clear if this was going to be an ongoing. So it is an ongoing, goes beyond issue 6, but I think the first arcs primarily finish in issue 6. So I was considering cancelling these at issue 6, but I'll probably continue for the time being, given the strength of the story. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the Absolute Universe. Nice reinvention of the DC characters. And I'll be interested to see how it all plays out, because obviously I've got this sense that it's all going to come together again. As those who've read DC All In, obviously you end up with 2 universes where they're sort of fractured. So it'll be interesting to see when they bring them both together. I've also got the Absolute Superman issue 6, which again is not necessarily the end of the first arc, and I almost spoiled it on the previous show that we did. I won't go to the last page, because there's an interesting character that appears at the end of this one that doesn't necessarily fit in Absolute Superman, which is interesting to see. But yeah, it's not as great as Wonder Woman, but still enjoying getting the Trinity. And speaking of the Trinity, let's go to that one instead. Absolute Batman issue 7. Again, I was initially going to be finishing off at issue 6 because I thought that was the first arc, but again, these seem to be excellent ongoing, so I'll continue them going for the time being. So Absolute Batman in that sort of frosty cover. I think that's the first Mr. Frost in Absolute Universe in there as well. Absolute Flash issue 2. Interesting cover with very little Flash on it. Again, I didn't mind the first issue of this. Again, an interesting way to take on the Flash. I do also have, and if you've seen my recent video, I did pick up the other 2 first issues as well. So Absolute Flash 1, as well as Green Lantern, Absolute Green Lantern, and then also Absolute Martian Manhunter, which I really liked. I love the art in Absolute Martian Manhunter, and those foil covers for that are pretty impressive. This is another one, Challenges of the Unknown. This is the last penultimate issue. This only runs to issue 6, is my understanding. I did cancel this, but then was convinced by Gary Sasserman, of all people, I think, to keep reading. So I am back on it, and we'll finish off the run from issue 1 through 6. And again, I've got a bit of a sort of, given the fact that the Challenges of the Unknown are somewhat of a prototype for the Fantastic Four, and they've been through many changes in the DC universe. I'll keep giving them a chance and giving DC my dollars at the moment. However, we are changing it up. It's funny. Marvel titles are really not really grabbing me at the moment. However, there are 2 Marvel titles that I'm sort of on my pull list. Ultimate Wolverine is still on that list, and you can see here I've got issue 3 and issue 4. I'm really enjoying this take on Wolverine as the Winter Soldier. So if you haven't already checked this one out, I'm really enjoying it. The artwork is pretty fantastic. Just, again, one of these great little books, decent story, And again, Marvel's absolute Ultimate Universe seems to be doing much better than their standard universe titles. So really hope they bring the writing chops back to the normal Marvel universe rather than just plain old Ultimate. And then to close us off, we've got Hyde Street, one of my favorite books from Jeff Johns' Ghost Machine universe. Loving this book. And it has had a couple of changes of artists, like Ivan Reitman normally does. Ivan Reese, I think, normally does the art, but again, they changed the art, but it doesn't matter because the story is just so good in this. If you haven't already read it, it's this street that people want lost souls wander into, and they are tasked with reclaiming some of these other souls, and the first to get 10,000 escapes from Hyde Street. Fantastic book. I would urge you to pick it up if you can. I'm really enjoying it. Look forward to seeing that whenever it comes out. So that's my new pickups. Let's check out what everyone's saying in the chat. No, I think we're good. So maybe let's switch to these books. So I've been recently picking up licensed Hanna-Barbera books for various reasons. So this one was essentially a lot that I managed to pick up from Future Past Vintage Collectibles. Essentially, they was offering this set. I think the set is 5 or 6 books, all near mint minus, for $50. And I thought, well, can't pass this up because I'll come to it in a minute why I'm sort of picking this series up and why I've started collecting it. And this is the classic Dave, still only 35 cent. What happens in terms of a rabbit hole? I'll find something that will then send me off to try and find the collection or build it out. And again, this is the Comico session, Comico issues of Johnny Quest, which is a Hanna-Barbera cartoon, which actually was quite well received at the time. As you can see here, nominated for 2 Kirby Awards for Best New Series and Best Ongoing Series. So they reinvented Johnny Quest. I'm not sure if the cartoon was running at this point, but it was certainly running in the 70s and 80s. So yeah, pick this up, and I'm again reading through it. You've got William Messalobes, Carmen Infantino, Adam Kubert, Bob Pienaar contributing to this book, and it's fantastic art, as you can see here. So you got Carmen Infantino, writer, Adam Kubert on art. So fabulous to sort of see this staying in the style of those sort of cartoon comics, but just wonderful sort of stories sort of in there. This one featuring a ghost and Johnny Quest. But yeah, I thought this one would be an interesting one to share. What I do like as well is these fabulous gatefold covers that they came with. So this one, as you can see, you get to see the ghost and a fabulous cover there. So that's Johnny Quest issue 13. Then we've got Johnny Quest issue 14, which you would have seen from the preview, where obviously that cover, and again they call out they're nominated for Best New Series and Best Continuing Series. Great cover that. And these, as I say, are in decent shape. But super happy to pick them up because I would never have come across these or even considered collecting them if it wasn't for the certain book that you're about to see very soon. Jim, I watch Johnny Quest every Saturday morning at breakfast time. Great show. And that's my point, John. Jim, I would have never thought to collect this. But I do remember the cartoon. I never got into it myself. But I'm really digging some of these old, particularly the ones where Comico came along and tried to reinvigorate them and give them new stories. And I think that's evidenced by the fact they got nominated for Best New Series and Best Continuing Series at the Kirby Awards. So again, you can see here, this is just, beautiful yellow cover, just fabulous. That one is not a gatefold. Another great cover there on issue 18. This is another one of those classic gatefold covers. So let's have a quick look at this. Again, they're in pretty good shape. Here we go. It's another great, beautiful full cover there. So that's good to pick up. Who didn't want to be Race Bannon? He was a badass. Awesome, Jim. That's so good. Who's this one by? Issue 20 and then issue 21. So I haven't gone back and checked how many issues there actually are. I don't think there was that many in the run. But they did start in 1986. And this is the thing that got me on the journey. And this is going to be featured in a future video I'm doing. This is Johnny Quest issue 5 with this iconic Dave Stevens cover, which I thought that's what sent me on the path. If I've got issue 5, I have to collect the rest of the series. And that's the rabbit hole that I always seem to be able to go down. I'll find something like this. I did the same with the King Kong books, the Dave Stevens King Kong books, where I managed to pick that up, but then had to go and get the rest of the King Kong books. But I will be doing a video on Dave Stevens and my collection of Dave Stevens covers. I'm waiting for something to come back from CGC at the moment, which I submitted at WonderCon. So when that comes back, I'll be doing a Dave Stevens piece. But this justifies my starting of my collection for Johnny Quest. So to say, I'll get the full Comico run to go with this, and that will be pride of place in the collection, particularly that cover. Just look at that from Dave Stevens. Let's get it out of the glare so you can see it better. 9.4 is a decent grade as well, given that this has such a hard black cover on the left-hand side. So really happy to pick that one up. Fabulous book. And my quest into Johnny Quest begins. So yes, as I say, I've got 21, 20, 19, 18, and then I skip. I've got 14, 15, and 13. So I need to get 1 through 4 and 6 through to 13. So we'll see how we go. And again, usual stuff from me. Need to get them in high grade. All right. Now, talking of Hanna-Barbera and still only 35 cents, wanted to share this one with you. So these are ridiculously hard to find. I have recently picked up some more of these. So this will be another future video. I'm going to be talking about how many, all of these still only 35 cents Starburst versions of books there are. I'm slowly but surely working my way through picking up the entire set of any book that featured a still only 35 cent variant. It's actually been one of the most enjoyable collecting experiences for a long time. I'm able to dig through bins, go through books, and you would have seen from my WonderCon video, it's tough. Like you check it, particularly for these more lesser known books. And I'll cover that in the video, but long and short of it, some of these are easy to find, like Amazing Spider-Man's, Fantastic Fours, Avengers, you name it, the sort of usual titles, super easy to find. However, you get to things like Hanna-Barbera, particularly in high grade, it gets extremely tough. And Marvel ran the license for all Hanna-Barbera books for probably about 2 years. And before it moved back again, I think it was with Gold Key originally, before it moved to another licensee. But yeah, these are fabulous to find in the wild if you can. All of these I actually bought slabbed, because you can't find them in super high grade. So there's a number of different titles. This is Yogi Bear issue 7. And as you can see here, there's still only 35 cents. The thing that I love about these Hanna-Barbera books is that these things move around a lot. It's interesting as well. You get some real interesting people contributing to these books as well. And you have to excuse me, my little dog is sitting at the door here, wanting to get out. So he might make a guest appearance if you're lucky. But yes, these are fabulous little books, and I love the covers, and I just love picking these up, particularly in high grade. This one's the lowest one I've got, 9.2. But as you can see here, classic Yogi Bear cover with that still only 35 cents in yellow at the side there. I did also manage to pick up a Laugh Olympics, and again, you can see the differences between these books here in terms of the way the still only 35 cents moves around. Traditionally, they'd be sitting in this corner with the corner box, but here, very different placement. And different placement in terms of how the Marvel layout is. So you still get the same comics code and the Marvel Comics group at the top, but everything sort of moves around. This is Hanna-Barbera's Laugh Olympics. Number of characters featured in here. Again, all of these based on the comic book, on the cartoon TV shows that would have been showing on Saturday morning TV at the time. This is issue 13. I think for Laugh Olympics, there's 3 or 4, and I've got a number of these actually arriving soon. Again, I've been out there grabbing these while I can to sort of try and complete the collection. Jim loves a bit of Laugh Olympics. I do too. As I say, these are really interesting books for me. Again, I keep hunting for them in the wild. Very difficult to find, particularly in high grade, and you very rarely find the still only 35 cents ones as well. So yeah, these are just fabulous books. And then to close us off for today, probably my best one so far, managed to get a copy of Flintstones 8 in a 9.6. So you can see here there are a number of different titles. There is one really expensive one, which is TV Stars. I think it's TV Stars, Hanna-Barbera TV Stars issue 3. And this is the one, basically that book is expensive because it's an early Dave Stevens ink job or art on it. So that's why that one commands a little bit of a premium in compared to the others. But they all command some form of premium because they are so hard to find in tough grade like this. And as you can see here, one of the things that's fascinating about both the Laugh Olympics and the Flintstones 8, Mark Evanier is on writing duties for both of these, which I always find quite amusing. The fact that Mark Evanier was part of that, writing those stories. So it's just awesome stuff. And I think Mark Evanier did that TV Stars issue 3 as well with that Dave Stevens art. So still on the hunt for that one. It's a tough book to find, particularly in high grade. I think there's only 2 9.6s. So we'll see. If you see one out in the wild, let me know. I'd love to hear if you see a Hanna-Barbera TV Stars 3. I'm definitely on the hunt to pick it up and finish off the still only 35 cents variants. As I say, video on this coming very soon, and I'll be able to give you a sense of how broad the still only 35 cents label was. It went across the entire Marvel run for their series of books for 5 or 6 months. So there's some really interesting keys and some very interesting books in there, including things like Kid Colt Outlaw, things like that, that were a little bit, they're a bit harder to find than your normal books. So that's it for today's show. As I say, nice and quick one. Welcome to those that joined us. Thank you so much for all the support and making it on a Tuesday rather than a Monday. We'll be back on Monday. If you have any ideas for stuff that you want me to cover for Monday's show, please, by all means, knock a comment in the comment down below. Let me know what you think. I've got a few ideas and a few surprises lined up, but always keen to hear what you'd love to hear me talk about and cover. I hope you enjoyed the books that we showed today, and I hope you stay well for the rest of the week. Don't forget to tune in for the sketch show on Saturday. And with that, I will run the outro and see you very soon. Take care of yourselves, everyone.